Welcome to Everyday Car Guy. Today we're testing the Lincoln Nautilus. This is a 2020 Lincoln Nautilus, so let's come along for a ride and I'll show you what it's all about. Hey, welcome to Everyday Car Guy, and today we're talking about the 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. First, let's just take a quick look at this car. This is a mid-size SUV crossover. It's not the full SUV where it's higher off the road, but it has quite a bit of ground clearance. It has 20-inch wheels. It seats 5 people comfortably, has front-wheel drive, and it has an inline 4-cylinder with turbocharge, which makes it pretty quick, not fast. Before we go inside the car, let me just show you the trunk space. Very easily, we just wipe our foot over the bottom and the trunk opens. Come on and take a look. It's got a pretty good sized trunk space here for luggage or other groceries and things. And then if you want to put the seats down, there's a little button right here that you press. And the seats automatically fold down, which gives you 6 feet by 3.5 foot of space. That's quite a bit of space. Let me show you how to put the seats back up. Unfortunately, they fold down automatically, but you have to put them up manually. So you have to physically lift and lock them in. Not too hard, but I like the other ones that had it automatically. So to close the door, you can do one of 2 things. You could use your foot again, but it also has a nice little button here that closes the door. The other thing to open the door if you don't use your foot, there's a little button right down here that you hit and it opens the door. One of the things I do not like about this hatch, it's not more than 6 feet tall. I'm not even 6 feet tall and I got a duck to get in here. I cannot tell you how many times I've hit my head on this hatch. So let's go inside the car. So the back seat, once we put the seats up, has quite a bit of room. As you can see that this is a front-wheel drive car, so there's no transmission hump in the middle. You can sit. I'm just shy of 6 feet tall, so you have plenty of room back here to sit. And even in the middle seat, the legroom is not bad at all. You have back seat warmers over here, and then we have your USB adapters here to charge your phones. So that's pretty neat back here. Plus you have air conditioning back here. The roof opens up and this is all glass here. Let's show you that and how that works. This has a complete glass ceiling. So if you open up this shade seam, so you have full glass above you. You can close the shade if you want, and the glass in the front over the driver and passenger does open up like a sunroof. So it gives you a lot of head space, a lot of room. Feels quite big back here. Let's take a look at the front seat. So in the front seat, it's quite luxurious in this car. One thing about Lincoln, they are luxurious. It has a nice big screen. They did change the screen in 2021 and 2022. I personally like the screen better, but that's up to the individual. But it has a nice sunroof. You can open up the sunroof, which lets a lot of air and sun. Also makes you feel like you have quite a bit of headroom. Or you can close it completely and close the shade on it, because it is kind of bright today and we're getting pretty heated up. The infotainment system comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The steering wheel has lots of buttons on it, which we'll go over in a minute. This button changes the middle setting. I like to keep it on miles per hour. Over here is your cruise control. This car has adaptive cruise control and lane assist. This button adjusts how close you are to other cars, and this button makes sure that your lane assist is on. You need to turn it on right here and then set your speed. A lot of information on a steering wheel. Holy moly. This car has a lot of features. It has cooling seats, heated seats in the front, heated seats in the back, has a great GPS sound system. It has a lot of buttons here, is all I could say. There's a lot going on here. The other thing that a lot of people talk about is the transmission engagement system. This car has a push button, which is kind of retro to the back to the 50s and 60s of some old Lincolns, which is kind of cool. The other nice thing is this car has cameras all around it, and it can fake that you can see 360 degrees around your car, which is neat. That I really do love. Has a lot of compartments. You have cup holders here. You have a place to put your phone and charge your phone here. It has an induction charger right built into the car. Put your phone in and it charges. Has a lot of room in your consoles, plenty of room down here, and room down on the sides here. Got a lot of neat little compartments. We should take this car out for a quick spin. Let's go. So you put the transmission selector, you have these buttons on the side here, and that's how you decide how to drive. The car is a really super smooth drive. Pretty good pickup. Steering wheel has lots of buttons on it. Radio, volume, and changing stations. This is to talk to your sync, which is your infotainment system, and other buttons that help you with your display. This is your display information here. This car has an auto hold feature, so I let go of the brake when I'm at a traffic light and the car doesn't move forward. As soon as the light turns green, I hit the gas and away we go. The car also shuts off when you're at traffic lights to save fuel. This car has the better sound system, the Revell sound system, and it sounds great. There was one upgrade on sound system. It was ridiculous. It was like another couple $1,000. Didn't think of getting that. Didn't need it. Has the seat massagers, which when you're on a long trip really help your back and your legs, your thighs and your back. The car has pretty good visibility. When you look over your shoulder, it's pretty good. It has a little bit of a blind spot back there, but the good thing is both mirrors have blind spot warning indicators in them. This car has an adaptive cruise control. That's pretty good. I must say it's not as good as the Teslas. When you coming into some slower traffic, it's going to jolt the brakes a little bit, which I'm not that happy with. Now we're in lane departure control, so the car kind of holds its lane. I'm barely driving the car. Coming up to a turn, let's see what this car does. It takes the turn. I am not turning the wheel, and it's holding this lane. Now we're coming up to a truck that's going slower. Right now we're set at 69 miles per hour. Let's see if this thing slows down and how quickly it reacts. Now it's slowing down for the truck, 67, 66, 65. So the adaptive cruise control is working really well. Now it's down to 62. Feel that braking? It's like slapping on the brake, tapping the brakes to slow down on the cruise control, on the adaptive cruise control. It's okay, but that could get annoying after a while. This car gets pretty good gas mileage. Right now we're averaging 23.7 miles to the gallon, and it's truly city and highway driving, probably 50-50. So that's pretty good for a car of this size. Let's see how the sync works. So if I push this button, it turns on the sync. Find a POI.
Searching nearby. Please say the name of the POI.
The MGM Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, whatever this is, it is not taking me to the right destination. But it says it's only 32 miles away, and I know Las Vegas is not 32 miles away. The problem is you need to know exactly what it's at, what the terms are. If you don't know the terms, how do you set a destination? So apparently you have to tell it that you're going to another state. You're going to another state. So let's try the GPS again. Find a POI in Nevada.
Please say a line number or say none of those.
1.
In Nevada, please say the city name.
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, please say the name of the POI.
MGM Grand Resort.
When ready, press Press the voice button and then say, set as destination, or dial the number.
Set as destination.
Setting new destination.
Okay, so the trick with the sync is you have to ask certain questions. So what we learned is that we have to ask, set a place, and you have to name the state if you're going to a different state. Then they ask you for the city. Once you get that going, it was pretty easy to set up, but you had to know what to say. And again, if I owned this car, I'd be driving it every day, and I would know how to do that. My wife is the one who owns this car, so I had to dial a friend and say, hello, honey, can you tell me how to use your GPS? And she did. You don't buy a Lincoln Nautilus because you want to be sporty and racing the other guys in town. You drive a Lincoln Nautilus because you want comfort and luxury, and that's what this car definitely brings. Definitely kicks in some power, and you feel that turbo kick in, and the transmission downshifts quite quickly. My one regret with this car is I wish it came in a hybrid. A hybrid would have gotten probably 35 or 40 for a car of this size. It's very quiet inside. That's another thing I do like about this car. It's very quiet inside. Has ambient lights, so it has this cool ambient light system, and it shows different lights. You can light up the interior, and then it has exterior lights. As you approach the car and it knows that your key is in your pocket, it has a light that comes on and illuminates the doors and shows that it's Lincoln. Very cool, very classy. One of the problems with this car when you're in adaptive cruise control and you get into traffic, when you come to a complete stop, the car will come to a complete stop, but after about 3 seconds it will not re-engage. You have to re-engage the car. Not a big thing. It's responsive, but it's not tight. When I test drove the Mercedes, that car was quite tight. Let's see how fast this car does 0 to 60. Had to start up. Now we were going up a little bit of a hill, but it was quick. Guarantee you can get on a highway, but not the torque of a Tesla. It's time for Everyday Car Guy's Report Card. As for comfort, the Lincoln Nautilus is one of the best cars I've ever driven, and the car rides so nice that you don't realize how fast you're going until you look down at the speedometer. Its interior is classy and comfortable. All the elements used in the interior come together in a stylish package. So for comfort, let's give the Nautilus an A+. Now for performance. I always rate the cars that I test on everyday use. 0 to 60 is the most important performance element since we all need to get onto highways. The Nautilus comes with a 250 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder engine. It's not fast, but has enough power to get onto the highway and has a passing gear. But as for handling, the car is not so tight. This is not a sports car, but as I said, no one is buying this car to race at the track, and for that reason I give it a B- for performance. Economically, the car gets 25 miles to the gallon on the highway, but only 20 in the city. We average over 24 miles per gallon combined in our Nautilus, which for this size car is really impressive, and for that reason I give the Nautilus a B-. Let's talk about design. Before entering the Nautilus, it already feels expensive. The fit and finish is superb, and the interior uses high-end finishes. It's not one of those giant SUVs that looks like a tank, and it's not a dainty itty-bitty SUV that looks like a toy. This is a solid, mid-sized SUV that makes you feel safe on the roads, yet still somewhat sporty. With its 20-inch wheels, the car has a nice stance, and the taillights are very cool. When side by side, the Nautilus looks a lot like the Audi Q5, so for design in the SUV category, the Nautilus gets a solid A. Overall, the Nautilus is a great car, so I'm giving it a combined score of an A-. I'm your everyday car guy, and thanks for driving with us today. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, drive safely.